Okay, boys and girls, welcome. Glad you're here. In 1877, so that those of you that don't understand what this is about, in 1877 there was a great national railroad strike that took place. Started in Martinsville, Virginia, I believe. Some of you other historians correct me if I'm wrong, but it traveled along the different railroad tracks. Back then, a place like St. Louis had 30 different railroads. It isn't like now where there's like 3 major railroads in the country anymore. And this strike came to St. Louis because St. Louis is the second largest concentration of rails in North America, exceeded only by Chicago. Well, something unusual happened in the St. Louis area. It turned into a general strike. A general strike is when everybody, all working people, stop work. And what even made it more unusual is it was a people's general strike. It came about primarily without leadership from any organized labor group. Matter of fact, back then the rail unions were some of the strongest unions and the only ones that really had enough power to fight against the wealthy people and the owners. So here in this area, what happened is on both sides of the river, workers stopped. It actually started in East St. Louis on this side of the river and expanded over to the Missouri side. And the stockyards, the second largest stockyards in North America, ground to a halt. All of the rail traffic, including everything except for mail trains so that they could stay out of trouble with the federal government, everything came to a halt. And all of the forgers and molders and steel mills and everything else that was in this region came to an absolute halt for about a week. And the only reason that things changed after that, that the strike was beaten, is because federal troops and private industrial security guards, which were the way things were done back then, is when unions got out of hand, the owners and the government beat them up. And they did worse than that. They killed approximately 20 strikers in different skirmishes around the area. So this is the heritage that the St. Louis area has gotten. When you go down to our steel mill down here that U.S. Steel owns now, they merged some local unions a few years ago, but we had Local 16, Local 30, Local 67. Norma that's taking pictures there was from Local 68. These very low numbers are a reason, and that's because they were some of the first unions in the country. IBEW1, IBEW2, elevator constructors, operating engineers, all have numbers less than 10. So this is a concentration of organized labor that's probably only equal in Chicago and New York. There's a great history here. In the steel industry, which most of you are familiar from, at least you people that are here local, that steel mill down here was unionized 43 years before the Steelworkers Union came about. Some of my co-workers and other big steel mills up around the Great Lakes would brag about how long they'd been in the union. Well, they joined in 1936 or 1942, and I pointed out to them that when you guys joined the union, we'd already been in the union 43 years in Granite City. One of the reasons we were fortunate that that happened is because George and Frederick Niedringhaus founded our company that became Granite City Steel. Their money started General Steel and their money started American Steel. But when you think the biggest that this town has ever been, some of you people that are old enough to remember, we had about 40,000 people at one time. We had 3 steel mills, an aluminum mill. We have all the refineries in this area. You had 2 or 3 steel mills on the other side of the